Well, here we are again today at the pastor's update, and I want to talk to you about the importance of faith. We know that during this COVID-19 shutdown, many of us not only feeling isolated and very concerned about the human loss of life, but also the human cost of job loss, depression, crime and violence, and substance abuse that has risen during these many weeks during the pandemic. We want to talk about today, at least I do with you, about the importance of faith. We as Catholics, as Christians, in fact, the human person itself, faith is an important dynamic of who we are. We're embodied spirits, and our spiritual lives need to be fed in order to be healthy and growing in holiness individuals, not only for ourselves as individuals, but also for our families, for our neighborhood, for our community, for our country, and for the world. This is part of the response to this pandemic, is the importance of faith. Many of you know that Archbishop Hebda has put out a letter with all the other bishops of the state of Minnesota to reopen public worship starting on May 26, following the examples of other churches and Catholic churches in other states, especially down south. On Pentecost Mass is when our official opening will happen. We have the privilege and the joy of having Archbishop Hebda pre-recording a Mass for us, celebrating 50 years of St. Gerard's existence as a parish and a person of Christ or a institution of Christ in our community. Pentecost Mass will begin on the 31st of May. We'll have an 8:30 a.m. Vietnamese Mass in the social hall, plus a 10:30 a.m. dual English Masses, one in the social hall and one here in the church. We have a number of protocols that we're following the protocols established by the CDC, the state of Minnesota, and the Archdiocese in collaboration with other think tanks around the United States dealing with pandemics. So it's very thoughtful and thorough protocols that we're putting into place. We're asking all of you who attend Mass to please be compliant. Expect these protocols to be more long-term as our working normal. Everyone is required to wear masks throughout the whole of the liturgy, from the time that you leave your car to the time that you re-enter your car at the end of Mass, to wear your masks. We're asking those who are over 65 or who have any type of underlying health issues not to attend Mass. We're still going to do basically live streaming Masses and or our pre-recorded Masses that we've been doing since this pandemic has begun. Again, everyone is exempt from the Archbishop from your Sunday Mass and worship obligation. So no sin is incurred if you do not attend Mass, but you watch it online. And then Father Joseph and I will be offering Holy Communion throughout the week for those who desire to receive it from those who have watched our online Mass. So we're asking people who are under 65, families with children, to please come and attend Mass if you so desire. Again, we'll have 2 Masses in English, both in the social hall and in the main church, and an 8:30 a.m. Mass Vietnamese only. This will begin on May 31st, Pentecost. Again, those with pre-existing conditions and those over the age of 65, we ask that you remain home and watch the pre-recorded Masses, and then feel free to call or email actually during the week, both Father Joseph and myself, so email both of us, to receive appointments to receive Holy Communion. Those appointments would be on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the following week after the pre-recorded Mass, from 9 to 11 a.m. and 2 to 4 p.m. Again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for those who have watched the pre-recorded Masses. Again, I'm reiterating certain points to drive home the importance of those over age 65 and those with pre-existing conditions to please remain home and watch the pre-recorded Mass. Know that there will be a number of protocols put into place beside the masks being worn from the time you leave your car to the time you enter your car after Mass. We're also asking that everyone will be, basically, our ushers will be taking a thermal temperature of each person entering the church. If your temperature is 100.4 degrees or above, you'll be asked to go home. And please listen to the ushers. They're going to have a difficult job, but once your thermal temperature is taken and you're wearing your masks, listen to the ushers' instructions. There'll be other ushers who will seat you in particular seats. All of the church, along with the social hall, has been set up to allow for social distancing. So some of you may not sit in the places where you normally sit at the 10:30 Mass. I ask you to be compliant and be cooperative with the ushers. Again, at the end of Mass, communion will be distributed as the last thing. And each row will be let go by the ushers. So even if you're not receiving Holy Communion, we ask that you remain in your pews or your seats until you're released by the ushers. And we go one by one with a 6-foot separation from one another to receive Holy Communion and or exit the church. I ask that you would come early. Given these new protocols with the temperatures being taken, asking for you to wear masks, the ushers sitting you and seating you, there will be no music at any of the Masses, no singing at any of the Masses, just instrumental music. We ask everyone to please be patient. I know that everyone will not be happy with this, but this is our new normal for the given future. And I get it. We'd like things to be different, all of us would, and myself included. But please be patient with each other, be charitable to one another, be charitable to the staff, to the ushers especially. Again, Archbishop Hebda will be coming to pre-record our Pentecost Mass, and that Mass will celebrate our 50 years as a parish. We're very happy for him to be here. The Mass will be published online on our website at 10:30 a.m. on May 31st, that Sunday. We'll also then have his homily to the parish be broadcast at our 10:30 live Mass. As far as daily Masses go, we want to get a couple of weeks under our belt with these new protocols before we begin daily Masses. So we're not going to have daily Mass for a number of weeks, and we'll make announcements once daily Mass is in place. The same will be true for adoration. We'll make right now through this COVID-19, we've had adoration kind of in a creative way. The Holy Sacrament, the Blessed Sacrament, is put in the monstrance and is facing out north on the tabernacle. Those who do adoration can come and adore the Lord throughout the night from Wednesday morning to Thursday morning in the car. So that way we don't have to worry about re-sanitizing the church. Which brings up another thing. After every Mass and after every event, all the pews, the whole church, the doors, everything will be sanitized according to protocols by the CDC, the state of Minnesota, and other think tanks that the Archdiocese is using. When you come to the church, you'll find out on that Sunday, the 31st, there'll be certain doors you can enter and certain doors you can exit. Only the main restrooms will be used for those who need to use a restroom. So we ask that all these protocols be followed and people be compliant. So know that this is a new normal for all of us. I thank you for your generosity, your charity, your feedback, but know that we're following strict protocols for your health, not only for your physical health, but also for our spiritual health. Thank you and God bless.